Doing it again. Yeah. Wow, that's messy, man.
Oh hi, welcome back to the Naughty Little Geezer channel. I've just fucked the clapperboard. How are you? I hope you're well. It may come of some surprise that I'm not entirely sober and I'm not entirely bald. Mostly. And not all that right now, but there we are. I just found something that I wrote on the 15th of September 2014 whilst I was entirely sober. So, do you fancy a bedtime story? I'll take that as a yes then, if anyone watches this. As the man with the stuffed bird on his shoulder sat on his favourite bench, he began to think. He didn't start at the shallow end with little thoughts of how stunning the denim blue sky was, or what ingredients he'll be purchasing later for the purpose of making dinner. For once he was thinking only one thing. What is happy? That's what he was thinking. What is happy? He said it out loud, but audible only to himself and the nearest pigeons, who never looked likely to answer. Happy was something he thought he felt less and less and less as each day passed. So much so, he was now questioning what it was. Whether it was true or not, he felt happy had left him, like a slowly fading shadow leaves you as the sun subtly submits to an accumulating mass of water particles in the air. He never sat and thought so deeply as he was doing today. He thought about certain things that made him happy. Then, just as the faintest of Mona Lisa-esque smiles appeared on his deeply wrinkled face, into his head barged his brother, tattooed arms, folded, bloodshot eyes, staring noisily above a mouth full of rotten teeth and spiteful words. He was followed by a plague of indiscriminate worries that took various forms. Faces, numbers, envelopes, brown envelopes, all lined up behind his big brother, waiting their turn to churn this man's stomach. He leaned forward, creating a cradle for his head with his huge, weather-beaten hands placed gently under his chin, with his elbows firmly glued to his knees, and his size 12 feet flat on the grass, taking the weight and spreading it over a couple of thousand unfortunate blades. The stuffed bird leaned forward and stared at the ground. It had no choice. The ducks in the lake snapped his thread as they burst into what sounded like raucous laughter. They made him smile, and instantly they shut the door on the visitors in his head. Once again, what is happy? He asked the ducks, but they were not the talking kind. How long had it been now? He knew exactly. 529 days can slip by. At the same time, these days can add up like pennies in a piggy bank. An ever-expanding fat pig of a bank, the weight of which ever heavier to carry each day, imperceptibly, increasingly a burden. This pig could no longer move. He couldn't go far without having to return to the pig. He had to smash the pig in order to freely move again. Kill the pig! Kill the pig! This was not Lord of the Flies. There was a small hand tapping on his shoulder. 20 years ago he might have been startled. He felt too weary to be startled, too flattened to be made jump, too rusty to spring. He turned his head to the left, and he slowly pulled focus on a small boy who, bizarrely enough, looked just like that kid in Lord of the Flies. Was it Piggy? Not this kid, but that one. This one's lenses were both intact, and the boy was peering intensely through them at the bird on the man's shoulder. It was somehow cute how the boy's fascination was such that the man's shoulder didn't make his small list of considerations. The cute kid's eyes met with the man's. 2 seconds only. It's nothing personal, believe me, but if you could just fuck off, that would be good for both of us. Don't get all upset and any of that bollocks. Go tell your mum and dad. Do what you fucking like. Just fuck off. Now. He hated himself for saying it, but he knew that it was either that or the kid was going to get his whole life story, whether he liked it or not. And today was not the day to be sharing personal information. There just wasn't time. There was a lot to accomplish. And the 20 minutes he'd spent sat on the bench were 20 minutes he'd been wishing he still had spare later on that day. The kid spat at the man and ran off like his arse was on fire, blissfully unaware of the long list of grown men who'd been hospitalised for less. Wiping the small amount of spittle from his left ear as he slowly lifted his considerable frame from the bench, the 6'6" man was ready. And, as if focused on the task ahead, the bird stared forward. It still had no choice. This was going to be one hell of a day.
Wow, that's messy, man.